Hey guys, what is up? It is your boy, Chan Man here, back with another UFC numbered event prediction. And boy, do we got a hard card here. UFC 327, Jiří Procházka versus Carlos Ulberg. And all the other fights, this is a banger of an event. But I gotta say, so far I would say this is easily the hardest event to predict. Easily the hardest one to make some parlays for, because any scenario is possible in any fight. Everybody's got a fighter's chance here, and a swinger's chance, whatever it is. Everybody's got a chance on this card. So let's go ahead and hop into the first fight. I believe this was one of the last fights before the prelims. Okay, third to last. Okay, so we're going to be starting off with Marquise Gamrot and Esteban Ribovics. I think is how you pronounce it. I'm really bad at pronouncing names if you haven't already noticed that. I like Marquise Gamrot. He trains with Dustin Poirier. He's there at the All-American top team. I like Marquise Gamrot. He took that fight, his last fight with Charles Oliveira in, I believe it was Rio. I know it was in Brazil. He took that fight on like a week notice. So I kind of, I didn't think he did a bad job. I actually put money on Charles, won that money. But I think this is also just another 50-50 fight here. I mean, this can go, Marquise Gamrot could really just grapple him, clinch him, and do a lot of work. Or you could see Esteban, going through the rounds and then getting better and better at stopping that takedown. And, getting better at takedown defense and making Gamrot, stand up and bang. But my thing with Gamrot is he doesn't like to throw combos. He's not a big combo guy. He's a 1-2, and then he's out of there. From what I've seen, I think he's fought some good people. I think the Dan Hooker loss has aged pretty bad in my opinion. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna go with Marquise Gamrot on this fight though. I think Gamrot's gonna pull it out of his butt. And I hope he does. Come on, Gamrot, man. Gamrot was like one of my favorite fighters, and then this guy he's just been pooping the bed lately, man. I don't know what it is. On to Kevin Holland and Randy Brown. You know what? Fuck it. Give me Kevin Holland by submission. Rear naked choke. I'm taking it. But if he cannot get that submission, Randy Brown is going to win this fight. 100%. Kevin Holland, I like Kevin Holland. But I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm 0-4 picking against Kevin Holland or picking for him. I've ever yet to win money on Kevin Holland. So I'm going to pick Kevin Holland to win this, and I'd put your money on Randy Brown, because I just can't seem to pick this one. I just can't seem to pick him right, ever. I don't know why. I wish I could, though, but I can't. Whatever. All right, two Bellator demons right here. I hate watching Bellator fighters. I hate it. What was Patty? Was he Cage Warriors or Bellator? I can't remember. But I don't know. All right, but we got Patricio Pitbull versus Aaron Pico. Aaron Pico got knocked the fuck out by Lerone Murphy. Yeah, no. That spinning elbow was absolutely disgusting. I think Aaron Pico being at a minus 300 odds is fucking crazy. That is insanity. But give me Aaron Pico. I think Aaron Pico is going to win this fight. I think he's only going to get stronger as the fight goes on. I think Patricio Pitbull might win out the first round, but I could absolutely see this fight going to a decision. I think these are both some really just grindy motherfuckers. But I like Aaron Pico. I just think Aaron Pico is going to be the more rounded guy here. I think negative 300's, a little much. I would probably give him at least like a negative 200 maybe. But what can you do? What can you do? That's where I'm at with it. But on to the next fight. Cub Swanson versus Nate Landwehr. I like Cub Swanson. I actually watched him fight, and I put money on the other guy because I was like, man, this guy's like 40 years old, 41 years old. Whatever it was at the time. And I was like, he ain't got it. But let me fucking tell you something. Cub Swanson got it. For his age. He's got it for his age. But I'm ultimately going to be taking the underdog here, and I'm taking Nate. I think Nate's going to get it done. I think Cub is going to go in there. I think he's going to be very distant. I feel like it's just one of those fights. I just feel like this is just one of those fights the fan favorites don't win. And I don't know. Nate's not a bad fighter. I've watched him fight multiple times. Like, he's not a bad fighter. His last fight that he had with that French guy, I thought he was personally winning that fight, at least in the second round. And I was actually at that event, UFC Nashville. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Nate. But I would be very careful here picking Cub Swanson. I would be very, very, very careful. But he definitely could pull it out. He definitely could. So I don't know. We'll have to see, right? But give me Nate. Give me Nate to win this one via decision. Man, this one's a 50-50 one as well, man. Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. Dominic Reyes coming off a loss to Carlos Ulberg, which is obviously, you know, shaped out pretty well. Johnny Walker beating Ching Jang Zing Jang. Nah, he beat that Chinese guy, and that Chinese guy was on a tear with like 4 KOs in the first round, on an absolute tear, and it really kind of reignited what I thought about Johnny Walker. For a long time, I really thought Johnny Walker, you know, had a glass chin, and then, I mean, I think he still does. I think Dominic Reyes is going to drop him. I picked Johnny Walker in the beginning, but I really think Dominic Reyes is going to chin him. I don't think he's going to, like, sleep him out. If he beats him, it's going to be, you know, a TKO. It's going to be a technical knockout. You know, it's not going to be a straight-up fucking, you know, eyes rolling in the back of the head type shit. You know what I'm saying? All right, yeah, give me Dominic Reyes by whatever the fuck he wants. I wish. It's not going to be that easy. All right. This is the fight everybody's... I feel like this shit right here could almost been the main event because of how many people are just talking about Josh Hokit. Who the fuck is that guy, lad? Who the fuck is that, lad? I've never heard of Josh Hokit until recent. Until this event. But you know what? Give me Josh Hokit. I think Curtis Blades, man. Every time I watch him fight, I just feel sorry for him. I just feel sorry for the guy. Like, I don't think he's an entertaining fighter. I don't enjoy watching Curtis Blades. I never have. I just don't think Curtis Blades is good. I just don't. I think Josh Hokit, I think he's just going to come in and I think he's going to beat his ass. I think he's gotten the head of Curtis Blades. He seems very frustrated with the whole act that Josh Hokit has done at, you know, at the weigh-ins and such. So, yeah, I think Josh Hokit's going to get it done. All right. To what shouldn't be our co-main event. I was really looking forward to that Joshua Van and Tysora. I was looking forward to that fight. But regardless, what can you do? Paulo Costa's moving up a weight class, going from middleweight up to light heavyweight. And I got to say, he looks huge. I think Paulo Costa might really succeed at this weight class. But I also think Azamat, I think he's a good fighter as well. And once again, this is such a hard card to pick. Like, it's just hard to pick. There is nobody that is going to get a 100% fucking prediction rate on this. Just calling it what it is. There ain't no damn way. I want to take Paulo Costa so bad. And I think he will because Azamat, he's not much of a grappler. I really think Paulo Costa is going to have a great swinger's chance in this fight. So give me Paulo Costa. I think this is one of those alert picks that Azamat really might pull it out. But I really think Paulo Costa has the chance to do this. I do. I think Paulo Costa is going to win. But I think it's going to be a good fight, and I think it's going to go to decision. But I could also see Paulo Costa really, really hurting him. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a great fight, though. And then on to the main event of the evening. One of my favorite fighters of all time. I've been watching him since, Glover Teixeira. I've been watching Jiri since 300 when I think he beat up on Alexander Rakic. And it's just one of the things. It's like Jiri just loses all the fights. Like, I saw a stat today. In the last 10 rounds of his fights that the judges have scored, they've only given him one round that he's won. So, And Carlos Ulberg is not a guy to be messing around with. He's got to start early. He's got to start to put it on him. Get him to swell up. Get that eye to close or something. But I'm taking Jiri. But I think this is going to be an awesome and exciting fight to watch. I hope there's not a lot of grappling. I think it's going to be hopefully just nothing but striking. But I don't know. I mean, they're both very, very well-rounded when it comes to the grappling side of things, as you see here. I wish it would show the odds, but whatever. Carlos Ulberg coming in with a one more strike landed per minute, significant strikes. I mean, these guys are there. Jiri doesn't have much of a defense. You know what? If Carlos Ulberg is going to win this fight, I think Carlos Ulberg's going to head kick him. Just like Alex Pereira did. Just like Alex Pereira. And I think that's the way that Carlos Ulberg can win. But I think the longer that this fight goes, the more that it's going to be, for Jiri. I think Jiri could even get a 5th round finish if he lost all 4 rounds. Like a Leon Edwards moment when they fought Kamaru Usman, when he fought Kamaru Usman. I could see this fight playing out like that. I definitely could see Carlos winning the first 2. Hell, maybe even the 3rd round. And then I could see, Jiri starting to really put it on him in the 4th. And then he's got to go after him. And he's got to get the knockout. And I could see him doing it. But I could also see him not. I think that's the most realistic scenario of this fight. But give me Jiri. Well, alrighty, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video on the UFC 327. It is currently 23 p.m. right now. So we only got a few more hours until the event starts. I think it starts around 5 or 6 o'clock. And then, we're still 10 hours away from the main event. But it's going to be fun regardless. I hope you guys enjoy your day. And let's try to make some money. So yeah. See you guys later.